Hi, this is a continuation on lecture of on rivaling. To be a rival and to win over a person that we would want to marry us, which if we consider that marriage is based on two factors, adoration and desire, two factors, and that desire has to be so intense that in progression, because of reciprocity, it leads to that adoration prior pending how good that person is. And so those two factors are important, and the problem with society is that we skip desire as something disgraceful, and that is what children are not invited to do when those children behave as if they were incapacitated, which is a plague of modern society. Children that behave the same as adult animals, as if they were incapacitated, speak in voices like this and are unable to do anything. And also, they are constantly, as if they were hurt, asking to be handed things and do things, and adults do the same and expect them to do so to women, knowing better on physiologic needs and things like that. That adds to adults the perception, deluded perception, that adult persons are children. And that brings hatred, because for an adult person, also for children, any children, degrading or demeaning person by speaking to a person as if that person was sick or incompetent, in meaning, for instance, I fell and somebody said, "Are you okay?" Because I fell, and then the person assists, right? That is appropriate affect. Inappropriate affect is when an adult person, an adult woman, to another adult woman or to competent child that did not fall or hurt herself, implies that lack of competence in baby talk. So speaking and request that, threatening with death or with harm to cause injuries to win a rival. That always not only kills and harms the others, but also creates need for work instead of pursuing or having personal life. That is all the time the problem with persons who still think that there is such thing as otherwise than in harm, having the and person knowing how to resolve it, having a purpose or need for treating person as a child. Another circumstance in which those nicknames, function, like sweetheart, honey, love, and all of these that can be applied to more than one person. For instance, I call one policeman sweetheart because he's sweet, he's a good person, and he's very young, and he made significant mistakes when it comes to his police work. And that is a sweetheart to denominate that this is not a man that I consider a manhood of because of his work compatible with him having a capacity to pursue precisely any female, especially me, because of immature and incomplete knowledge. And so sweetheart is to express that I have for that person compassionate love, similar to a person who is yet learning, and the same is for immature elders. That is what it is. And that if that person insists on superiority or offers payment, is offensive, because that is my love that I express. So person then throws at the other person money as saying, I don't want to do anything with you because I'm gonna buy you, all reducing them to sex or assuming that I never would want that sex. You see, to have sex, that is work, a lot of work, to be able to achieve adoration. Because if there is sexual desire and sex, and there's someone else adored, God even, if even God in my mind is loved more than the spouse, then I do not want to have child with that spouse. I will instead take that child to the monastery and blame the monks. And that is enough with one person that I adore more, like that white policeman, or like for instance Dr. Alpha, who is black. enough with one person that I think of more than my spouse, I cannot possibly have that child because of having incapacity to attach emotionally, which is because of that spouse rejecting sex and pursuing or asking me to pursue esteem from person who also are adult men and women, and disguising self as a child or asking that of others or as sick or destroying reputation prejudices and is referred to as less intense capacity for sexual relationship by choice. So if then we approve of that, we do not have chance to develop more. And that is not about forcing persons out of wanted marriages. If marriage is wanted and it's not based on sex, we don't have right to interfere, regardless how that marriage looks like. However, that marriage, if it does not have inscribed in that marriage sexuality that is so high, in fact, that it at any point is not because of well, let me rephrase, at least once from mind to body the two shared mutual ecstatic sexuality or desire, and from that, in as best thing ever, dream come true, wish for a child, and from that, love for one particular person above all others, and therefore all others as providers of work, providers of help, and etc. Are less than self, and then next to less than the spouse. Not that they are less being different, they are less because of degree of love and desire, and that is often called racism, and it's false. It's not that it is racist, that irritability of persons, calling others, smelly, or that couple black here did to, or calling persons in some way insufficient because of different race. We perceive that way when that sex in a couple is not combined with a maturity or the perception of need of some sort of approval from someone, even God, to have children and love and best sex. And that is the problem for blacks, whites, mixed couples, Asian couples, all of races, that we then blame others. You see, irritability is because one has insufficient sex and the other one does not wish for it but is blamed. And that afterwards, after nagging for some time, ends up, okay, fine, you want that husband to leave you? Well, bring him in. If you don't want him, I'll marry him. I will even marry him. But that is, again, illegal. Why? Because I don't want that person. That's what I know, that for sure I don't want that person, because there's someone else that I adore, love, which is more in the spectrum from hatred to adoration, more than that person, even God, or even some other person, or I desire somebody else more, recognizing the trigger for that desire, okay, nothing to do with anyone else, is unique individual, meaning the moment I recognize that individual because of adoration for that person, and when I met that person because of that desire of that person, in pursuit of me, I as a woman, I desire that person more. And this is a competition, but it's competition who loves who more. It's not as horrid as we think, because if that person is I don't know, an Indian, a black, a white, or a Eskimo, it really does not matter as much as if that person in reciprocity desires me as much as I do, and gives me a chance to be recognized as such toward him without non-stop searching who to unload me on, as if that was a mom, of a growing up child. That is why that is the source of confusion. Then we kind of around clean everything, and that cleaning is because we give, for instance, to a dog food enough to kill it, and persons then who are fed or are eating and the other one rejoices, is like, are you nice to me because you're trying to sacrifice me and make a pate out of me? Well, the answer is no, obviously. As long as though humans do it to other animals, there is such mistake in many minds, and that is what the problem is. Desire has nothing to do, normally, with a right to deserve to stay alive, nor in healing. Healing, unless it's mutual and persons were in bad shape because they were in love, for instance, and they meet, and that turns out that they desire one another and want more than anything in the world, that child, that desire and extent of that desire from one another, and trust and believe that this is for sure, the other one wants me, nobody else, and vice versa, forever, as most, brings miracles of curing even infertility or regrowth of reproductive systems and things like that, that are present in many countries. In Italy, there was an article: 67% had children. In China, 100 almost years woman had a child. She fell in love with her child. Many persons then gain no wrinkles and vitality without injecting self anything or putting parts of pigs, cows, or whatever other animals to woo really that person and a whole bunch of spectators, in fact, if one does not kill. That is not necessarily wanted, you know what I mean?